My name is Cincinnatus. I'm a journalist. I wrote an article. This article was covered as the cover story for each of 3 Bay Area newspapers. Slide. The total distribution of the story was 40,000 print copies. Now, that is not a measure of my importance or even my ability as a writer. No. It's a measure of the importance of this story. Global mass extinction. I'm going to read this story to you. Lights. In this edition, it's titled Countdown, or Another Silent Spring. The section title is The Last Flight of the Monarch. Alongside the endangered redwood, the monarch butterfly is a symbol of this, our land. We have taken the monarch as our emblem. One sees it many places. On our t-shirts and jewelry, on our journals, on our sky-flying kites, and on our place-making murals of happy people and fluttering butterflies. The monarch floats up from our subconscious and haunts our dreams. Little wonder, the annual migration of the Western monarchs up the coast from Mexico is one of the great natural wonders of the Bay Area. Or I should say that it was. As I write, at the height of the fall harvest, we are at the height of the monarch migration. But let me ask you, readers, trash consumerism aside, has any of you seen a single solitary one? Although it goes little reported, in the last 10 years, the monarch population has collapsed. From a degraded and declining baseline of several millions in the 1990s to just 9,000 monarchs last year. That means if someone has been so lucky, so blessed to see just one monarch this year, in 1995, they would have seen 200 monarchs floating through the sky. If they had seen 10 monarchs, they would have seen 2,000 monarchs. Can you imagine such a natural prodigy? Most likely one has seen 0. Our blue and brown hazy skies are empty. The only one that I have seen has been on one of our murals, which has been transformed, ironically, from a celebration of this place and its natural abundance into a memorial for the dead. What is the significance? What does the probable extinction of the monarch butterfly, our emblem, mean to us? What is the significance that monarchs were thought to carry the spirits of the dead to the afterlife, according to Mexican folkloric tradition? What will become of our souls when they are gone? Emptier skies. Poets have called butterflies nature's living jewels. Well, as a general trend across the United States, butterfly populations everywhere are now collapsing. Can one even imagine a world without the free play of butterflies? If that thought causes you pain, then you are connected to the butterfly and its pain. And with its death, something dies in you. I'm afraid it's not just the butterflies that are going extinct. As a generality, most winged insect populations are now collapsing. That broad group and segment of life includes butterflies, mosquitoes, honeybees, dragonflies, beetles of all stripe, wasps, singing cicadas, lightning bugs, and ladybugs. All of those populations are now in dramatic decline. They're all rapidly disappearing, right here and all around the world. The rapid decline is so dramatic and so distressing that scientists are calling it the insect apocalypse. That's a striking phrase. It's a big story. It's your headline for 2025. It's funny we haven't even heard of it, huh? I've not heard any mention of it while doom schooling my Instagram reels. Perhaps one has noticed it, if only secondarily. Perhaps with less need to spray pesticides or less need to scrape insects off your driver's windshield. As a class, insects represent a major part of the biomass on Earth. That is the number and weight of living life forms on this planet. And they're all rapidly dying away. That might not move you. When we interact with insects at all, it's usually as pests. Bugs are gross, but it should be concerning. Insects, as the basis of biomass, are the basis of food chains. Pluck hard on that food web, and it ripples out to shake all living species. Hurt by the seeming indifference of most people to insects, local butterfly expert John Hibbert, my dear old dad, had this to say, quote, "In the grand scheme of nature, butterflies exist to feed the birds." My old man is right. Along with insect population, bird populations are collapsing all around us. According to a recent report by the North American Bird Conservation Initiative, 30% of North American bird species are now in freefall decline. Birds are falling from emptier skies, and silent is the spring. And those deaths, I want to tell you, they're not painless deaths. Mass starvation, the inability to get insect food for themselves and their young, is the cause of that collapse. Doubtless, that will move anyone. Birds are in our hearts. They are symbols of liberation and escape. They are the mascots of our schools, our teams, and the emblem of great nations. Birds are in our dreams. In the folkloric belief of many lands, birds are thought to communicate between the earth and heaven, bringing to us messages from the gods. Hence, divination by augury. So, what does this augur for us? If we and our swine could even survive, would you want to live in a world without birds? I'm afraid that I'm still understating the case, because it's not just butterflies and birds. It's moths and bats too. As the basis of the food web, insects directly feed most small mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and fishes, which in turn feed larger animals, scaling up the food chain to apex predators. All are now at risk. Think of all the iconic species we learned to name as innocent children and hugged as stuffed animals in the safety of our small beds. They are now all at risk. Think of all the spirit animals that guide us as adults when we are spiritually lost. They are themselves lost now, wandering, starving, and disoriented out of the fast fragmenting wilds into our spaces, lost and bewildered, and dying under the wheels of our heavy trucks. Our plants are dying too. Insects feed animals, and they also pollinate flowering trees and plants, forming a vital link in their reproductive and fruiting cycles. Insect death ripples and rips through the meadows and the forests where we seek spiritual refreshment and peace. All the food web is now shaking violently, as in a great earthquake, as in a great storm. The Holocene mass extinction. Reader, fellow human being, we have reached an inflection point. It is a decision point. Have no doubt. This is the biggest story of our times. Make no mistake. Trump is just noise. China is noise. The latest TikTok trends are just noise. Taylor Swift's wedding is noise. The football season is noise. The baseball season is noise. And Disney Marvel is just a desperate distraction from what is happening here and now. Stop distracting yourself. Undeceive yourself. Put the pieces together. Endangered apes and elephants in Africa, dead coral reefs in Arabia and Australia, collapsing fisheries, disappearing kelp forests, the slash and burn destruction of the Amazon, the endangered honeybee, the last flight of the monarch. These are all pieces of a greater story. Global mass extinction. Lights. Per the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, a once in every 4-year gathering of global nature conservation experts, leaders, and decision makers, 28% of all living species on Earth are now endangered. 28% of all life. That's trillions of insects, plants, and animals unable to propagate or to keep their young alive. Take care, reader. That statement contains unlimited pain. Global mass extinction is your news headline for 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. It's the only story that matters. Factors and cause. The surprising thing is we all already know the factors causing what scientists are now calling the Holocene mass extinction events. But with a galvanic thrill, let us review them. The leading cause of mass species extinction and death, let's be real, death. Mass death. The leading cause of mass death is human development. That is to say, road building and land clearing, timber cutting, mining, house building, livestock grazing, monoculture farming, and the pollution of formerly undeveloped land. That is to say, animal habitat and ecosystems. Development is driven by bad policy, overpopulation, and consumptive consumerism gone mad. Those are the general factors oppressing all living species. There is a specific factor too that is oppressing and suppressing insect life specifically, and setting off a cascade effect of dropping dominoes along larger animals and plants that depend on insects for food and reproduction. All I can say is that it is a relatively new pesticide in increasing agricultural and domestic use. This pesticide is a broad spectrum insect killer and long-lived. In dust suspensions, it has blown about everywhere and is in most of the non-organic food that we and our children consume. That's all I can say about it here in print. I have been warned by some of the science advisors not to be more specific. The corporations that make it would think of nothing of breaking me or torching this newspaper with a smear campaign and baseless but expensive nuisance lawsuits. In fact, it appears that that is their business model. It's just good business to shut down newspapers. But ultimately, the cause is us. We are to blame. Whether or not we are fully aware of it, we are doing this. We're making this happen with our daily choices. This is the true story of our times, and this is the true meaning of our lives. This mass extinction is our legacy. Like it or not, gathered about our own good works lie thousands and thousands of dead butterflies and birds, bees, squirrels, snakes, fish, foxes, coyotes, elk, wolves, bears, and mountain lions. This is the truth. Don't look away. And while we have now exceeded the point of irreparable damage to life on earth, and may lose the innocent monarch butterfly, it is in our power to choose again, to slow, if not stop this, and to save other species. Just as we already know the causes, we already know what to do. But with renewed urgency, let us review those changes. Thrilled to it. An urgent new environmentalism. A meta-analysis of research published by Science magazine in 2020 revealed, quote, declines in terrestrial but increases in freshwater insect abundance. That was in 2020. The authors of this scientific paper attributed the turnaround to environmental laws and regulations designed to clean up and protect our waterways. Those very same protections are now being torn up by the Trump administration, which is now opening all federal lands to rapacious development. The first lesson of this story is the powerful effect good government policy can have on the preservation of species. The second lesson is that for the present, we can't count on the government to lead the response to mass extinction. Still, the oft-repeated refrain conservative politicians make when shredding market regulations that restrain the worst impulses of capitalism is true. Power, ultimately, lies with the consumers. And to that I will add the voters. As consumers, we can make a daily difference. As loud local advocates and voters, we can draft and organize the local policies and programs that can scale nationally and internationally when the Trump regime topples down. Here, submitted by some of the local naturalists and international scientists that help inform this article, are priorities for a grassroots campaign to slow mass extinction. They are none of them new. It's the old green agenda. But now you know its urgency. Number one, support green candidates and candidates with a green agenda. Let me name some of those agenda items. The Green New Deal, stopping the sale of federal land, establishing new parks, many new parks, linking existing parks into animal throughways, fighting climate change and climate denial, helping our farmers transition to organic, that is to say pesticide-free farming, and subsidizing the purchase of organic foodstuffs. I'm talking health food for all. It's number one, support green candidates. Number two, support nonprofits that promote environmental conservation. You can support them with your vote or your dollars or your in-kind donations. Maybe you got some skills. You can volunteer. You can also lend your social media platforms to amplify their messaging. These are all ways you can help. 3, buy less, reduce, reuse, and repair. 4, buy local. Local production and shipping has a reduced environmental impact. 5, buy organic food and wine. 6, buy less meat. For you carnivores out there, start where you can. Start with Meatless Monday. Eat some frijoles. 7, avoid purchases with high carbon footprints. Fly less. And if you have to fly, buy carbon offsets. I don't want to see pictures of you on the beach without seeing pictures of those carbon offsets. Otherwise, your vacation means to me dead birds. All right? That's number 7. Number 8, this is a fun one. Convert part or all of your yard or business landscaping into butterfly gardens, pollinator-friendly gardens. Search native gardens, search butterfly gardens, search habitat gardens, and search the website National Park in your backyard. 9. Spend time connecting with wild nature. Go out there, connect with the beauty. Remind yourself of why we are making these small and meaningful sacrifices. It's good for you, body and soul. And number 10, talk about these issues with your family and friends. Share with them this article. Keep this issue alive. We're a forgetful species. We're always distracted. Keep this issue alive. You've seen this list before, or versions of it. It's nothing new. But now you know that we do these things for the bird and the butterfly, for the otter and for the oak tree. We cannot wait on Washington or Sacramento. We must act now. The humans. Why isn't mass extinction the story that everyone is talking about? Well, some of these scientists and naturalists, butterfly experts and birders I talk to seem to imply that people just don't care. Humans only care about human stuff. But the fact is, we do care. We do. We are connected to these animals and flowering plants, heart and soul. We love our plants. We love our pets. We love the monarch butterfly too. And whatever cynics say, we humans are fundamentally moral creatures. I can prove it. What proves our morality is how much time and energy we spend distracted, avoiding a confrontation with the truth. We fear the truth about our choices because no matter what we say in public, nobody really thinks that they're a good person. We know that if we confronted the truth, we would be forced to change by our own moral constitutions. We fear the change, and we fear the reckoning. We forget how good it can be to make amends. And we forget how lightening it can be to make sacrifices for those that we love and hold dear. We might grumble during the change, but we forget how adaptive we truly are. Quickly, the discomfort of change is brief, and briefly it is forgotten. So let us have the truth now. Don't look away. When we buy inorganic food or trendy plastic junk, we buy a dead songbird too. Each time a dead songbird. In time, those purchases add up to a dead American bald eagle or a dead Californian grizzly bear. One has bought these dead animals. One must own it. And one must pay for them. The cost comes out of our own souls. We are connected. Contrariwise, when we buy organic food, a songbird flies free each time a butterfly. We are literally saving lives. We can change, and it is in our power to stop this. A change we must. In this journalistic diatribe, I've emphasized what mass extinction will cost our souls, our dreams, cost our symbols, our wonderment, cost our emblems, cost our archetypes, our awe, our mascots, our cartoons, our spirit guides, our love, our friends. Mass extinction will cost our souls. However, mass extinction may cost our worthless lives too. For if there is a domino effect collapsing up the human food chain, the last domino to fall will be humans, the apex predator. We can't simply fence off our corn and our cattle while the environment collapses and burns all around us. The words of Dr. Joshua Arnold, a scientist who studies the role of beneficial insects in human food agriculture, put it so succinctly. Quote, "There is a dogma that we will be able to craft our way out of any problem. But the promises of technology will not be able to make up for a dying planet." The planet is dying. It will not be able to make up for a dying planet, he says. Everything we do depends on the ecosystem around us. We might be able to eke on for a time, but we will suffer. Technology will not save us. According to the World Economic Forum and the United Nations Food Summit, Pollinating and pest-eating insects are critical to the cultivation of 35% of the world's foodstuffs. No insects, no food. With the human population projected to increase by 2 billion by 2050, that projected food shortfall has us fighting a world war. The insect apocalypse is the harbinger of a greater slaughter. There is still time to avert it. If the monarch must die, let its dying be our turning point. Let it be the sign and the symbol of our turning. That is the article that I wrote. What follows is a moment of silence and reflection. There are links with steps to follow. Thank you for listening.